Oh yeah, is it Tuesday already? Shit. Okay. Sorry, chat. Sorry about that. Okay. So, I gotta explain myself a little bit here before we get going. I just had quite the injury. Nothing bad. Don't worry about it. Nothing too bad. But I'm in a lot of pain right now. A lot of pain. Not gonna lie. So, I'm gonna try and be upbeat and happy this live stream. As soon as I turn my camera on, you're going to see a Mike who is ready to go for the show, okay? Okay, chat? I'm good. Don't worry about it. I'm good. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Okay, let's focus in. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Star Wars. Let's go. Okay. What's up? Oh, shit. Our live sign's not even on. Oh, what's going on, chat? Hang on. Technical difficulties. What's up, everybody? We might not have a live sign today, chat. What's going on here? Okay, we're going no live sign. That's annoying. Okay, whatever. Okay, so Skeleton Crew has sort of gotten some bad news. Not only has it been revealed that it did not make the Nielsen charts at all through the entire run of the show, but also, it's the lowest viewed Star Wars show to date. Lower than The Acolyte, lower than Andor, lower than any of it. And that's not good news if you are a big-time Skeleton Crew fan like myself, because that means the second season of a Skeleton Crew is probably very unlikely. Also, we got to talk about Andor Season 2. I had a strange suspicion when I woke up this morning, I guess it was about the wrong thing, that we were going to be getting an Andor Season 2 trailer today. Now, it's still early in the day, I guess, but we have not gotten that trailer. Now, I think this week seems to be the week, and the reason I put that in the title of this live stream is because we are about to hit the 2-month mark. We are about 62 days away from Andor Season 2's release, and we have still yet to see a trailer. So we're going to talk about a lot of that stuff. Even Daisy Ridley's talking about Star Wars as per usual. It seems like she is all the time now because she's promoting her new movie. But before we do any of this, let's say hi to everybody in the chat, shall we? Okay. Mazza, what's up? Navarro, how we doing? Jessica in the house. Starship 66, how we doing? Dustin Kennedy in the house. Mando United, how we doing? Haja, what is up? Carry on, how we doing? Cole in the house. Justin, what is up? Austin, how we doing? Jedi Jarvo, how we doing? Marcus, what's up? Adam, how we doing? Justin, how we doing? Stanley in the house. WUV grad, how we doing? Dom, what's up? Holly, how we doing? If I missed you, you know the deal. Just yell at me in the chat. Let's give everybody a nice little
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Okay, so I know the live sign's not on. I mean, we could try it again, but for some reason it's on the. I have to get a new live sign, chat. I don't know what's going on here. It's just flashing on and off. I don't know. We'll leave it alone. But so a little bit of what's going on behind the scenes here. A little bit of what's going on behind the scenes. I rolled my ankle really, really bad. And that sounds like nothing, and it is nothing. I'm obviously not in. I'm not dying over here. I just rolled my ankle. So it's pretty bad. It just happened literally like 20 minutes ago. So I am hurting quite badly right now. I just had to hop all the way down the stairs to my seat. I had to go let Boo back inside. The dog, you guys know her. She was outside, so I had to hop my way downstairs. So I was maybe a minute late today. But we're not. This is not a pity party, chat. We're talking Star Wars. If you just hear me go, ow, ooh, ee, ah, 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 that's just me over here dying. Not dying. Sorry. Just in pain. Okay. Oh, here's Boo to come say hi. Boo, come here. No, where you go? Boo, come. Boo, come. Boo, come. Come here. Yeah, there you go. They want to say hi to you. Want to say hi to Boo? Come here, Boo. It's Boo. Hello. Say hi to the camera. Look over there. Oh, thank you. Look over there. Say hi. There you go. Yeah. So Boo wants to give her 2 cents. You got anything? Oh, thank you. Thank you. No, thanks. That's it? Okay, bye. Okay, bye, Boo. All right. Yeah, so before we get into any of this Star Wars stuff about Skeleton Crew and Andor Season 2 and all that stuff, let's give a huge happy birthday shout out in the chat to Brandon Baker. Not only the first ever moderator on the live stream, but one of the first ever everything, members, viewers, all that stuff. So huge shout out to Brandon Baker. All he does in the background of these streams and all that stuff, he can't be replaced. He's irreplaceable when it comes to the people who love Star Wars. So huge happy birthday to Brandon. So let's get some happy birthdays to Brandon Baker in the chat, please. Let's do that. And I am so ill prepared for today's live stream that I don't even have a cup of water. All I have is the good cup that follows orders. So we'll pull that out in a little bit when I need to take a sip. But happy birthday to Brandon. And let's dive into this stuff, shall we? So, Skeleton Crew. Now, I'm going to read this article that's from over a month ago, actually, but it's talking about the ratings of this Disney Plus series and how it sort of lacks when it comes to the other shows. Now, the Nielsen numbers were released the other day, and to not really that big of a surprise, Skeleton Crew did not make the Nielsen top 10 at all. Through its entire 8-week run, it didn't make it the entire time. And that's quite sad for a lot of us because Skeleton Crew was such a good show. And I feel like everybody who watched it was like, yeah, that show's awesome. And they want to see more. Who doesn't want to see more of Jod? Who doesn't want to see more of those 4 kids? Especially now that Wim has a lightsaber. Like, who doesn't want to see more of that? Now, the title of today's live stream says No More Skeleton Crew. And that's pretty much referring to the fact that season 2 is highly unlikely at this point because of the ratings, because of the fact that it never cracked the top 10, because of the viewer numbers. It's the same reason, and others, that The Acolyte doesn't get a second season. It's the same reason that Book of Boba Fett's probably not going to get a second season. And although we'll talk about the outlier, which is Andor, we'll talk about it. But Skeleton Crew does not look like it's going to get a second season, okay? And with that, I'm actually going to put up a poll in the chat. Let's do this. If you haven't smashed a freaking like on this stream, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Smash a freaking like. Smash a freaking like on this stream. But let's pull this up. Let's pull it up. Do you want a second we'll go like this. Season 2 of Skeleton Crew. Yes or no? Do you want a second season of Skeleton Crew? What do we think? We will make it happen. Trevor, we're going to get to that. But I actually think this Star Wars fandom has the ability here to do something very great. You have the same sweatshirt? Really? That's sick. It's a cool sweatshirt. I think the Star Wars fandom has the ability to do something great here, and that is to get a second season of Skeleton Crew. Now, we've seen the Star Wars fandom do sort of the opposite, and that is cancel shows. Of course, the most recent being The Acolyte, not getting a second season of that series. I'm moving my leg. I don't even know where to put it. Where will it be comfortable? That's better, I guess. Okay, so I think we have the opportunity here to do something great. Now, in the same year, literally the same year, we had a show that the fans got canceled for a second season. And in that same year, we might have the possibility of getting a second season of a show that shouldn't get one, at least according to the numbers, shouldn't get one. And that's pretty damn cool. So let's dive into this, okay? So I got this article pulled up here that I want to talk about. This came out almost right after, or maybe even before the finale. It might be before the finale, but it's when the numbers came out. So let's take a look at this. Okay. Skeleton Crew has worse Star Wars ratings on Disney Plus show, lower than The Acolyte, and that's not what you want to see. I'm a big fan of The Acolyte. I know a lot of people aren't, but even still, I think Skeleton Crew was way more beloved than The Acolyte was. The Nielsen ratings for the first 2 episodes of Skeleton Crew are in. Again, this was a month ago. They are all out now, and they have not cracked the top 10 in any of the weeks. They are worse than The Acolyte, worse than Andor, and seemingly the worst Star Wars ratings on Disney Plus. Now, this, of course, does not mean it's the worst show on Disney Plus. I don't think it is, but by any means. I don't know. What do you guys think the worst show on Disney Plus is for Star Wars? That's a tough conversation because obviously we here are very positive people. And when we talk about the best, you gotta, for me, it's Ahsoka, but it's also The Mandalorian, it's Andor, We're just talking live action, by the way. Just live action. But even the worst of the worst, let's say it's Kenobi, and you could argue the Acolyte for some people, or the Book of Boba Fett. Even those are still pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. But let's keep going. So Skeleton Crew is also the first Star Wars show not to have its premiere make the Nielsen ratings, which are automatically turned on in your Disney Plus accounts. Samba TV is also, again, refused to publish numbers. Samba TV hasn't published ratings for a majority of the recent Star Wars and Marvel shows, likely at the request of Disney, who is an investor in the company, as obviously the ratings are in the gutter. A lot of the Marvel and Star Wars shows as of late have not been that great for ratings. Acolyte, Skeleton Crew, Secret Invasion, Agatha All Along, Echo. Yeah, those are the Marvel ones. But particularly alarming is that Skeleton Crew's premiere for the first 2 episodes on the same night, yet they still failed to appear on the Nielsen ratings despite having an entire week to qualify. So these are the top 10 at that time. This is crazy. This is abso-fruitly crazy. I don't even know what the top 8 shows are. I've never even heard of them. Chat? Let's open this up. I've heard of Tulsa King. I've heard of the British Baking Show. Cold Case, never heard of it. Cross, never heard of it. A Man on the Inside, never heard of it. The Ultimatum, I might have heard of. Special Ops Lioness, nope. Landman, nope. Landman, is that just a guy who lives on the land like all 8 billion people on the planet? Black Doves and The Madness. I've literally never heard of any of these shows except for Tulsa King and the British Bake Off. Top 8, never heard of them. Am I crazy here? Have you guys heard of these shows? Skeleton Crew numbers will go up. I haven't even watched it yet. Trevor, you haven't seen Skeleton Crew? That's crazy. Landman is very good. Okay, I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. Mike, do you think The Mandalorian Season 3 is the worst? I think it's the worst season of the 3 Mando seasons, but do I think it's the worst season of television on Disney Plus? No. No. I quite like The Mandalorian Season 3. I think it's a very good ending to the Mando arc that's been going on since the Clone Wars. So it's like a 15-year arc finally coming to an end. Yeah. Yeah. So I haven't heard of any of these shows, and Skeleton Crew still failed to make the top 10 here. But what are the ratings? So, what are these ratings? Nielsen releases its ratings for a week, and this week was December 2nd to December 8th, covering the premiere of the first 2 episodes of Skeleton Crew on December 2nd. However, the show failed to make this list. Okay. The bottom spot for the Nielsen streaming originals list below is the Great British Baking Show, with 382 million minutes viewed. Since Skeleton Crew didn't make the list, the total viewership number, it must be below 382 million minutes, meaning the average per episode was under 191 million minutes because it was 2 episodes. Of course, divide by 2. Math. We got it. Okay. The Acolyte also premiered its first 2 episodes on the same night, making Nielsen ratings with 488 million minutes viewed. That's an average of 244 million minutes watched. Now, here's the thing with the Acolyte premiere. A lot of people watched it. A lot. I mean, the numbers don't lie here. That's almost 500 million minutes watched. Now, I think a lot of that had to do with people going, I want to watch this, even though I'm going to hate on it. Like a lot of people just immediately went, how does this have a 13% on Rotten Tomatoes? I got to watch this to see for myself. Some people liked it, some people didn't, and the numbers fell off towards the end. Like most Star Wars shows do, the numbers fall off towards the end. Skeleton Crew, however, is a little bit different. Not many people knew what Skeleton Crew was coming into it, and the numbers actually went up towards the end because word of mouth got around that the show's really, really good. And I think when the premiere happened, people were like, what is this show? There's no legacy characters attached to it. Jude Law is the only sort of A-list actor, I guess, or even if he's not on the A-list, he's a recognizable name. So the issues that Skeleton Crew had was that nobody really knew what it was or why to go watch it. And when it was coming out, then people went, okay, this is really good. And then word of mouth got around, more people watched it. But even still, with the more people watching it week to week, it never cracked the top 10 on Nielsen numbers. So Andor's premiere, for another reference, had 3 episodes, and that made the list with 624 million minutes watched, which is an average of 208 million minutes per episode. So Andor is slightly under the Acolyte there, but still above Skeleton Crew. So Andor, which has received a second season, had less views than the Acolyte. Obviously, both shows are very, very similar in the way that they were set up for second seasons. The Acolyte obviously has a second season there with the giant cliffhanger ending. And Andor was built to be 5 seasons, but whittled down to 2 seasons. So what's going on here is sort of bad news for Star Wars fans. And that is, if you are a fan of Skeleton Crew, the numbers don't lie, and it's very, 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 very unlikely that Skeleton Crew will get a second season. However, this does not mean, by any means, that this is the last time we will ever be seeing these characters. Jude Law's Jodna Notwood, Neil, Fern, KB, Wim. This will not be the last time we ever see them in Star Wars. Now, I just said there won't be a second season. How is that not going to be the last time we see it? Okay. They can show up in other projects. We've talked about this before, but Dave Filoni's movie, when it was announced 2 years ago at Star Wars Celebration, was a culmination film of all the Mando projects. The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, The Book of Boba Fett, and Skeleton Crew, meaning all those characters from all those shows will come together in one epic Avengers Endgame style event in Dave Filoni's hopefully Heir to the Empire movie. So the difference here is, yes, there probably, likely, very, very likely will be no more Skeleton Crew. No more. No second season. However, there will be more of those characters. So of Wim, of Fern, of Neil, of KB and Jod. But the question then becomes, how do they play into that story? We're about to get the Mandalorian and Grogu movie next year. And I think that's hopefully going to set up Grand Admiral Thrawn as the heir to the Empire and have him be a big, big threat. Maybe he kills Din Djarin. Maybe he kills Boba Fett. There goes Mike again, killing people. But it has to set up this sort of, hopefully, Mando trilogy, but at least 2 Mando movies, because we know Dave Filoni's getting his own movie. So where do the Skeleton Crew characters fit into this? I know, I'm seeing a bunch of boos in the chat to no more Skeleton Crew. You'll hopefully see the characters again. It's more of a question of where will they show up? And how? Because if they do show up in Dave Filoni's Mandoverse movie, why are they there? We watch in The Mandalorian, he's had Din Djarin himself and Grogu, but Din Djarin himself has connections to Bo-Katan, Boba Fett, Greef Karga, Ahsoka Tano, Luke Skywalker. Like, he has connections to all these massive characters that are all across the Star Wars galaxy. Some work for the New Republic, some work on their own as bounty hunters, some work as now leaders of the Mandalorians, and some are sorry, Jesus, that just came out of me. Jedi Knights. I guess it was deserving. Luke is a fucking Jedi Knight. Now, but in all seriousness, the Skeleton Crew are not connected to him. So you have all these people connected to Din Djarin and Grogu, but not the Skeleton Crew. You know? So how are they going to be in the movie? That's the question, Chet. WUV Grad says, I am more interested in where they're going to take At Atton than the other characters in the show. That's actually a great point. That is a great point. What if Skeleton Crew is not to set up those characters at all? but only to set up At Atton. There's a reason that we got Mando season 1 through 3, to set up all this stuff. To set up Ahsoka, to set up Book of Boba Fett, to set up Palpatine's return, to set up all that. There's a reason we got Ahsoka, to establish where Ahsoka and Sabine and Huge Wang are during the events of the sequel trilogy if they do stay in that different galaxy. Possibly explaining Abeloth, possibly explaining all this stuff. There's a reason we got the Book of Boba Fett, to explain how Boba can survive and where he's at. He's now controlling Tatooine for the most part. So there's reasons for those shows. What's the reason for Skeleton Crew? It seems pretty obvious. It's At Atton. It's the old Republic Mint that can print trillions upon trillions of credits because it's unlimited. And they already have vaults full of just insane amounts of credits. So At Atton might be the reason that Skeleton Crew exists, to explain not only how Grand Admiral Thrawn might get his funding to become heir to the Empire, but how the First Order gets its funding. Because the First Order just comes out of nowhere. Like, the New Republic controls the galaxy for the most part, other than the Outer Rim, but the First Order comes out of nowhere with new TIE fighters, a brand new army, all these Star Destroyers. They build a Star Killer base. Where do they get all the money to do that? At Atton seems to be the answer, and it's a good one. I like it quite a bit. So that might be the real reason that Skeleton Crew exists, but that doesn't help the fact that fans really, really love those characters and want to see them again. So the facts are this. Skeleton Crew did not make the top 10 ever in its 8-week run on the Nielsen charts. It's the lowest viewed Star Wars show of all time on Disney+. So does it get a second season? Now here's the deal. Chat, we have almost 90% of you, 90% of you guys in the poll say that you do want a Skeleton Crew season 2. And I agree. I would vote yes 100%. Skeleton Crew was awesome. Absolutely awesome. It was a fun ride the entire time. And those characters are now sort of a piece to the greater galaxy. So I'd absolutely want a second season. The problem becomes, is there enough there to warrant spending another $130+ million on a second season? Now, that's not really up to us as fans, but it could be. The same way that fans last year over the summer got the Acolyte Season 2 canceled because of the whole war online, even though some fans really wanted to see a second season, like myself. And Manny Jacinto still says it's a lifelong goal to make that second season happen, but hey, only time will tell. But we have the opportunity here as Star Wars fans to really show the love for Skeleton Crew as we lead up to Star Wars Celebration, that is, and show Disney, show Lucasfilm, show whoever that we want a second season and that we need a second season. Now, how do we do that? It's a great question. I have no idea. I don't know. Start a petition, maybe, but even if it gets, I don't know, a couple 100,000 signatures, does it matter? How do we get a second season greenlit? By smashing the like? Oh, well, I mean, if you smash a like, it would start. Yeah. You know, it'd be a start. Yeah. The cost will go up. Wait, what? Where did that just go? Oh, the cost will go up because the actors will want season 2 money. I mean, yeah, the cost will probably go up a little bit, but not much. We strike. That's a bad idea. No. Because we would be striking on the next project, and that would be Andor season 2. We don't want that. Here's the deal. We might be sitting here talking about this, saying how the numbers are so low, it doesn't warrant a second season. And Lucasfilm is watching from the backgrounds going, we're already doing it. Like, Star Wars Celebration could be, they come out on stage in Andor season 2. I mean, Skeleton Crew season 2 is one of the things they talk about. And that'd be awesome. But it doesn't seem likely. The facts don't lie. Yeah. Maybe Luke will go to At Atton. Well, Skeleton Crew ends. B-Man, what's up? Skeleton Crew ends with the New Republic coming to At Atton. Lee, what is up? You know? Lee says, good to see you, Mike. What the F is the Nielsen thing? I've never even heard of it in the UK. Is it like worldwide viewers? Oh, worldwide viewers. Oh, I thought worldwide viewers was like a website or something. I believe, as it's explained to me, is it's integrated into all the streaming services. So it's sort of a numbers calculator through Netflix and Paramount and Disney and HBO and all these different streaming services that calculate the numbers of people who stream the shows. Now, is it only the United States? I don't know. But even if it is, it's still a very telling graphic. I think Star Wars' biggest spot is likely the United States because it is in English. A lot of other countries obviously speak English, but most of them, it's not their primary language. So yes, it's probably big in a lot of other countries. I know a lot of you guys are not from the United States. I'm not saying it's not big over there, but I'm more so saying their target market is the United States. So I think that's sort of where the numbers are coming from. Yeah. We definitely need more Luke. I agree with that. Luke Skywalker is a necessity moving forward in all these stories coming up. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. If we get more Luke, the franchise will paint itself into more of a corner and will find it difficult to grow beyond. I disagree with that, Christopher, actually. I think the more Luke you establish now in between episode 6 and episode 7, the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy, will only allow you to move forward past all that stuff. Because right now, there's a big gap in Luke's story. You have the beginning, which is the original trilogy, and you have the end, which is his death in The Last Jedi. But you don't have the middle. You don't have the good stuff that is him being the Jedi Master at his own Jedi temple, training the next generation of Jedi, even though they all die. But even still, him training people and doing all that stuff, you don't have that. And we really, really want that. So getting Luke Skywalker explained and explored in between the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy is a necessity at this point, because then you can move past it. I don't think they're going to put themselves in a corner by doing that. I think they're actually going to expand their horizons by filling out the entire Luke Skywalker story so that once fans go, they can't go, well, what happened with Luke in that time period between the original, like it'll be fully played out, you know? Christopher follows up and says, the middle stuff can remain a mystery. We don't need that. That is true. It can remain a mystery, but a lot of fans want to see that. A lot of fans are very, very upset about how Luke's death happened in the sequel trilogy. And I think showing those fans what sort of the peak, I guess, of Luke Skywalker, I think a lot of fans would love to see that. Yeah. Hey, tell me if I'm wrong. Do you guys want more Luke Skywalker? Give me a 1 into the chat if you want more Luke Skywalker. Give me a 2 if you're like, hell no. No more Luke. 1 is yes, 2 is no. Tell me in the chat. Mind of Lucas with a very generous $10 holla. Holy crap. I appreciate that, Lucas. I really, really do. It says, why aren't we asking the big question? Okay, let's see the big question. Why has there been a steady decline in viewership numbers for each new Star Wars project? Loss in Disney Plus memberships, drop in quality of projects, or disinterest? Okay, these are great questions. These are really, really good questions, and I love it. I appreciate the super chat. I really, really do. Super chats, memberships keep the lights on over here, so I appreciate it quite a bit. So we have member streams every Sunday now, and we had a members only live stream where we watched Andor season 2 on Sunday, and Jordan Rennie, of course, you guys may be familiar, gave the biggest super chat of all time, and it was $200. So shout out to Jordan for that. That was absolutely insane and generous, but it was on a members only live stream. You guys might not believe me, but it is the new record, okay? That's the new record. Not that you have to send me $200, and I actually urge you not to, but I appreciate anything you can, okay? But Mind of Lucas, you are asking all the right questions, okay? Why has there been almost a steady decline of viewership? Now, that's not true, just as a statement. There has not been a specific, just downhill straight line for viewership. Yes, The Acolyte and Skeleton Crew were 2 of the least viewed shows on Disney Plus, but Ahsoka was the one before that, and it was not. Mando Season 3 was before that, and it was not. Andor was before that, and it was. So you have this sort of up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Right now we are in a down, but you can't deny that, yes, when they premiered Disney Plus with Mando Season 1, Mando Season 2, those were massive hits. And they're still at the top, tippity-top of the viewer numbers. Now, a lot can be said about that. Now, there's the whole pandemic, which is a big deal. People were inside, needed something to watch. The Mandalorian was right there in front of them. There was a lot more people had hype behind Disney Plus, because Disney Plus, as a streaming service, yes, it has new content like Star Wars shows, like Marvel shows, but the majority of Disney Plus content is archived stuff. If you want to watch any Disney Pixar movie, any old MCU movie, any old Star Wars movie, anything, you can watch it on Disney Plus. So the majority of people who watch Disney Plus are usually there to watch something nostalgic or something that they love, that they already know is good, and they go and turn it on. And when Disney Plus came out, before it came out, there was nowhere to do that. So all the Disney projects, all the Pixar projects, all the animated shows and movies and all that stuff, you had to either have the CD or rent it online or find it somewhere else. There was no Disney Plus. So when Disney Plus first releases in 2019, it's massive because all those people who are MCU fans and Star Wars fans and Pixar fans, they go and watch it. So the numbers, the subscription numbers skyrocketed right away. It became the second biggest streaming platform almost immediately, right behind, or not right behind, but behind Netflix, and everything else was in the dust. So the subscriber numbers have dropped since then. However, it has not been a steady decline of viewership for Star Wars shows. It's been an up-down battle. It just never has gotten back to that Mando Season 1, Season 2, and a lot of that can be said because people were locked inside. But having said that, is it a drop in quality of the projects? I don't think so. When you watch Skeleton Crew, visually, it's stunning. When you watch The Acolyte, visually, it's stunning. I don't think there's no loss of quality in at least the production of the show. Now, the writing of the show could be argued, but I think Ahsoka is the greatest written thing we've ever seen. But that's just me. Now, Skeleton Crew is extremely well written. I think The Acolyte's extremely well written, but a lot of you would disagree with me on that, and I've been arguing about it for 7-8 months now. But regardless of that, do I think the quality has dropped? No. Now, disinterest might be the most important question on this super chat. Disinterest in Star Wars. Is this something that's growing? Is this something that's a problem for Star Wars fans? Now, a lot of us in the chat will probably say absolutely not. Obviously, we watch Star Wars all the time. We're talking about Star Wars right now. So there's no disinterest here. However, to the normie fan, is there a growing disinterest in Star Wars? You got to think of it this way. And I think it's a very similar problem that the MCU is having right now. A lot of projects post-Endgame, Avengers Endgame, have been seen as not so good. However, you've had some of the greatest MCU projects ever after Endgame. Spider-Man No Way Home, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Loki Season 1 and 2, WandaVision. You've had some peak of all peaks, Deadpool and Wolverine, after Endgame. Most of that stuff I just listed off is better than any of the first 3 phases of the MCU. However, there's so many projects that fans have pretty much checked out. A lot of people who went to see every single movie don't do that anymore. And I think something similar can be said about Star Wars. It's almost not a disinterest, it's a lack of time. So many people don't have time to sit here and watch 7 seasons of the Clone Wars, 4 seasons of Rebels. To us, that sounds awesome. Give me more seasons, more content, more everything. But to the normie fan, to the fan who's trying to keep up with the story, it's very difficult to do so. So you have this battling line of disinterest or just too much content and not nearly enough people who want to keep up with it. Ahsoka drops. The Ahsoka series should have had far more viewers than it did, I think, personally. And I think the reason it didn't is because a lot of people who didn't watch the Clone Wars, didn't watch Rebels, don't watch the animated stuff, don't know who Ahsoka Tano is. She's not in the original trilogy. She's not in the prequel trilogy. She's not even in the sequel trilogy. So people don't know who it is. And that's a big issue. And there's more evidence to back that. Look at the Kenobi series. The only reason the Kenobi series is the second highest viewed show behind The Mandalorian is because it's Obi-Wan and Anakin. Those are two legacy characters who are in 6 of the films. The main 6 first films, prequels and originals, that's Vader and Obi-Wan. So fans immediately know those characters and check out the show. The problem that the recent projects are having, like the Acolyte, like the Skeleton Crew, is they have zero legacy characters, 0 polls for normie fans, and even the hardcore fans are almost disinterested. It's not a problem that doesn't exist. It's not something that isn't there. It is. And I don't know how to combat it. I don't even know if it's a bad thing. When you think about it, Skeleton Crew was fantastic. To me, the Acolyte was really, really good. Ahsoka is peak of all peaks. And yet, not many people watch those shows. It's interesting. There is a problem, but what's the fix? What is the answer? Because here's the deal. We got Andor Season 2 coming out up in 62 days. 62 days. Now, a lot of people are assuming, because we haven't gotten a trailer yet, that Disney knows that this is a success. They know that it's going to be a success on their hands. However, we just talked about the numbers, and Andor is the second lowest viewed show. Andor Season 1, that is. And when Andor Season 1 was coming out, a lot of people were calling it Andor. They were complaining about the AK-47s, the guns that looked like AK-47s. They didn't look like blasters. The bricks and screws in Star Wars. Like, there was all these complaints about Andor Season 1. People look back because Andor Season 1 is so well written. It's so well executed. And it's incredible. They look back and they go, oh my God, Andor was so good. Everybody loved it. No. That's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. And people just forget about that. They forget that people crapped on the show for 10 weeks or whatever the release schedule was, 9 weeks, because they had some double up episodes. They forget about that. They forget about the show that was crapped on week in and week out for 10 weeks. And they think, because they remember that Andor was so good as a show, that Andor Season 2 is going to have a great reception. But I don't know if that's the case. We're coming off the backs of an incredible show in Skeleton Crew, and it might not even get a second season. So I think I'm growing a little bit concerned about the fact that we haven't gotten an Andor Season 2 trailer yet, and the fact that people are so on board with the fact that Andor is going to be a spectacular success. Because I don't think it will be. It's a second season of a show that very little people watched. So in order for people to watch the second season of a show, you have to watch the first season of the show. And not many people did that. So my growing concern, because I know that Andor Season 2 is going to be great. I already know for a fact that Andor Season 1 was great. My growing concern is that people aren't going to come to watch it. And then we're going to have 3 shows. The Acolyte, Skeleton Crew, and Andor Season 2 that all have very, very, very low numbers. And that's a big concern. Back to back to back live action Star Wars projects that all have very little numbers, that's not a good thing. Because Disney's going to look at that and go, the interest on Disney Plus is plummeting. So we might just switch over to movies again, or we might just focus on animation projects, which isn't a bad thing. I love animation projects. But they might see it as a reason to sort of stop making the live action shows on Disney Plus, which I think is a horrible idea. There is so much room for incredible stories on Disney Plus, and that would be a bad idea. Bad idea. But Mind of Lucas, with a very generous $10 haul, I appreciate it, is asking all the right questions. What's going on? Because after Skeleton Crew, even though it was a spectacular show, has the lowest viewership numbers of all time for a Star Wars Disney Plus show. Why do we suspect that Andor Season 2 is going to be this massive success? I don't know. I don't know why. Can we get some good Cubs follow orders in the chat, please, too? Bumpa. Okay. Okay. But tell me what you think, chat. Tell me what you think. Fearless with a very generous $2 holla. I appreciate that, Fearless. I really, really do. Says, I'm just glad that we are having all of this Star Wars content. I agree. I mean, to me and you guys, because we are hardcore Star Wars fans, we love it. We eat it all up because, first of all, the content's incredible. I mean, look at the last couple of years we've had of content. From the Bad Batch's final season, which was incredible, to Ahsoka and Acolyte and Skeleton Crew. It's awesome. We're living a fantastic life over here as Star Wars fans who watch all the content. But not all fans watch all the content. And they only do if they hear it's really, really good. So for the fans, the normie fans who have seen all the movies, it's likely that they've seen The Mandalorian too, because that was such a big phenomenon that everybody was saying, you have to watch this show, you have to watch this show. So they did. That's not happening with these other shows. It's just not. It's happening in a smaller scale, but not nearly as big. Yeah. Jessica says, that may not be completely true. I watched Madagascar 2 before the first one. Well, that's just great, Jessica. There goes my whole argument. No, nobody's watching Andor Season 2 before they've seen Andor Season 1. It wouldn't make any sense, you know? It wouldn't make sense. All right. Lee says, but second season means characters are already established and more time can be shown about the arcs and stories, etc., instead of character developments for first season, which can slow things down. I agree with you. I really, really do. But you have to remember that the first season of Andor, the viewers are the second lowest of all time. So the only viewers that you are having come over to season 2 are the second lowest of all time. You know? Rebel Sith says, what's up, Rebel Sith? That still has plenty, they still have plenty of time to market this show as well. That's true. I mean, 60 days is 60 days. That's a long time. Obviously, you have Star Wars Celebration too before then, so you're going to have all of Star Wars Celebration to market the show. But the fact that we don't have a trailer yet, not even a teaser trailer. For all the other live-action Star Wars shows, we've gotten a teaser trailer at least 4 or 5 months in advance. 4 or 5 months in advance. We are now 2 months in advance, and we don't have a teaser trailer. That's crazy. That is crazy. But I will say that they still do have 62 days to market the show. But they know that it's mostly only going to be watched by the people who enjoyed the first season and not by very many new people jumping on. Well, that's what they need to do. That's the problem. They need new people to hop on board, or at least even the normie Star Wars fans who don't usually watch the live action shows to come on board because they hear it's so good. I don't know if this is, oh, that's the wrong one. So I think Andor is going to find itself in a little bit of a problem here that they don't expect, that a lot of people don't expect, you know? The teaser is coming, bro. Relax. No! You relax! No. I hope it's coming. It's 3 months late, but I hope so. I hope so. Yeah. Celebration is the same time that it releases. It's not so much promotion as telling people it's out. Well, no, it comes out 2 days after Star Wars Celebration. Yeah. Justin says, if you're hearing us, Lucasfilm, give us the trailer. Yeah, let's see a trailer. Imagine they dropped it while we were live. That'd be awesome. Star Wars Celebration and my holiday to Beijing and Japan are only 6 weeks away. That's awesome, Lee. Sounds epic. Sounds epic. They're waiting for a preview until Star Wars Celebration. No, there's no way that we don't get a trailer before Star Wars Celebration. Star Wars Celebration is 2 days before the premiere. They're not just going to have zero marketing before the premiere. That would be ridiculous. You know? Explore the Force, what's up? watch Landman. I am a landman. Like, I live on the land, you know? So that show must be about me or something. Justin says, I think it also has to do with a lot of people would rather watch sports, and I'm not a sports guy. What do you mean? People would rather watch sports? Oh my God. That's the first time I've moved my leg all stream. It's asleep right now, and it hurts. It's enormous. You guys ever rolled your ankle and it just swells up like crazy? Like my ankle was like this, and now it's like this. Crazy. Okay. Yeah. Oh, ow. Okay. Rebel Sith says, I don't think you're tripping, Mike. Wait until Celebration. You're going to see that there will be more Star Wars live action shows announced, and you'll probably just get 1 to 2 a year, though. I hope so. That's the thing, too, is we don't have many Star Wars projects announced. Andor Season 2, yep. Ahsoka Season 2, yep. That's it for Star Wars live action shows. Yes, you have a ton of movies. You got Simon Kinberg's trilogy, the Rey movie, Dawn of the Jedi movie, Dave Filoni's Mando movie, the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron movie, Sean Levy's Star Wars movie. The list goes on and on and on. Plenty of Star Wars movies to go around. But for shows, the only ones that have been confirmed or that we know of are Ahsoka Season 2 and Andor Season 2. Other than that, we know nothing. So Star Wars Celebration is going to be a big surprise in one of two ways. It's going to surprise us by announcing all these new shows, or it's not going to announce any shows, and we're going to go, what the hell's going on? Because they'll probably announce some animated shows. We think that there are at least 2 animated shows coming our way at Star Wars Celebration. But for live action shows, there's been nothing. There's been nothing. Like, really no word of anything big coming our way, at least from what we know. No leaks or anything like that other than animated shows. We have the leak of 2 animated shows are ready to go, ready to be announced at Star Wars Celebration. For the live action side of things, we got nothing. Literally nothing. Yeah. We will get a trailer on February 22nd for Andor, but we will be starved off any other news until Celebration. I hope so. The 22nd does mark the 2-month mark because it comes out April 22nd. So it'll be 2 months away. But yeah. Yeah. A second season for Skeleton Crew would be even better. I agree. I think Skeleton Crew, it ended in a weird way. Circling back to Skeleton Crew. I know. I usually talk about 2 different projects at the same time. But, I mean, I usually don't talk about 2 different projects at the same time. We usually divvy up the talk on the channel of different topics like this, but we're talking about them both at the same time. They're very interconnected. Skeleton Crew getting a second season and Andor Season 2 coming in a couple months. But Skeleton Crew ended in a weird way. The first season felt like an ending. Like it almost didn't set up a second season. And that's what even more makes me believe that there isn't going to be a second season. Like, put some ice on my ankle. I know. Yeah, I got ice right here, but I didn't put it on it. It's in my shoe still because I didn't want to take my shoe off because it was going to hurt so much. I know. Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. Where was I? So Skeleton Crew, the viewership numbers are low, obviously. The lowest of the low. And it's unlikely to get a second season. But another reason why it's not likely to get a second season is because of how the first one ended. It didn't set up a second season. It didn't set up any story. Like, you look at the Acolyte, for example, which isn't going to get a second season. It sets up Chimera and Osha. It sets up Venestra and Chimera's backstory. It sets up Plagueis, eventually he's the master of Palpatine. It sets up Yoda. It sets up all these different cool stories to be told in the second season. Skeleton Crew didn't do that. It's a very beginning, middle, end story. You know, the beginning is the kids blast off into the unknown. The middle is they go on this crazy adventure with this guy that they think they trust. The twist happens. He stabs them in the back. And then the end is the fight for At Atton. And it has an ending. The good guys win. The bad guys lose. The pirates are dead. Thrawn never shows up. There's no cliffhanger ending. There's no setup for the next story. which isn't a bad thing. I mean, it's a great story still. It's a great standalone story, but it doesn't really interconnect to the other projects, you know? Yeah. Christopher says there's definitely a ton of room for incredible stories, but they're trying to please too many people. You can't please everyone. I think they should either go to new stories and new characters, or I think they should just go to new stories and new characters. I honestly disagree with you. I disagree with you in the way that you can't please everybody. Because obviously you can't please everybody. Like, everybody is 8 billion people on the planet. You can't please them all. However, you can please everybody, in quotations, by giving people projects in different time periods in the galaxy, like they're doing right now. You've had projects like Andor in the Bad Batch and Rebels and Kenobi that all take place in that time period between the prequels and the originals. Then you have the Mandoverse, which is in between the originals and the sequels. Now you're getting the Rey movie, which is post-sequels. You had the Acolyte, which is pre-prequels. So you have different time periods, so different projects for different people. Whatever you want. You have more lightsaber and Force-centered shows like Ahsoka and the Acolyte. You have more ground-based shows like Andor, or maybe even The Mandalorian, but that does get a little bit more Force and Jedi-y a little bit. Bounty Hunters, The Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett. So you get different stuff for different people, you know? I think, hopefully, it would be a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. Hopefully, we get some Old Republic stuff announced at Star Wars Celebration. A man can dream. But some Old Republic stuff at Star Wars Celebration would be great. However, the Old Republic has to come at some point soon. So they're going to switch gears to a new time period in the Star Wars galaxy at some point in the somewhat near future, because the Dawn of the Jedi movie is already in active development. So we're going away. We're going away from the Skywalker saga and very, very far away. 25,000 years to be exact. Yeah. Justin says, the Skeleton Crew finale was even better the second time, even with my speakers all the way up. Nice. Nice. Trevor says, I'd like to see a Star Wars show rank among other Disney Plus shows over the last 6 years. I bet all the Star Wars are at least in the top 25, and they will stay there for years, where many others will fade away. I know what you're saying, and I completely agree. So when you look at Star Wars shows versus the MCU shows, or versus, I don't know, the other shows, what else is on there, National Geographic and stuff. If you look at all Disney Plus shows, all of them, the most watched is still The Mandalorian. It is. So Star Wars is already is the king of the castle, is the sitting on the throne at the top of the pile. But I bet you, like Trevor says, all the other Star Wars projects are at the top of that list or near the top of that list. The MCU shows, even the most popular ones, don't come anywhere close to those types of numbers. So Star Wars is still the king on Disney Plus. So that's what sort of makes me believe that we're not going away from it anytime soon. It's sort of what keeps them afloat over there. Not entirely, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I agree. Could Rey go up against the Crimson Dawn, or is that organization gone? I haven't read the Crimson Reign. Crimson Dawn is likely gone by the time of the sequel trilogy. I don't know, actually, if the Crimson Reign ends with the Crimson Dawn going away. I think the Crimson Dawn is technically still around during the time of the Mandoverse, but I don't know, you know. Yeah. Is Andor Season 2 releasing today? No. No. Andor Season 2 is on April 22nd, 2025. In 62 days. Yeah. Yeah. Indeed. Bluey, that's true too. Bluey is sort of the show that all parents put on for their kids. So that's also a big deal for Disney Plus subscribers, is kids and parents who own a subscription just to show their kids sort of the kids shows like Bluey and other kids shows on there. That is true. Oh, you meant the trailer? I was hoping today, but I mean, it is still only the afternoon, so it's a possibility, but it seems less likely now. Yeah. Oh, Rachel, sorry to hear that. That sucks. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah. April 22nd. It should have been 2 days earlier. That would be dope. Oh, funny. Funny. You won't be able to contain your excitement, though, when it hits. Will you be able to contain your excitement, though, when it hits the Andor trailer, or what? What do you mean? The Andor trailer? I mean, I hope the Andor trailer is really good. We've been waiting so long for it. Yeah, we'll see. Percy Jackson is feeling forgotten in this corner over here. Well, Percy Jackson is getting a second season. And that first season was very, very well received. It was the highest viewed show last year, but it's nowhere close to like The Mandalorian. Yeah. Yeah. Rebel Sith says, I think we are seriously about to see a huge positive shift in writing. We're finally getting only the best writers for the jobs? What are you talking about? Percy who? Percy Jackson. The lightning thief? Don't you know, chat? Yeah, no. I love how they're taking their time with the future of Star Wars, like the new Jedi Order. This could be potentially a complete rehaul. I don't know about that. I think they've sort of learned their lesson about not to rush anything. Think about Andor Season 2. Like, we're about to get Andor Season 2. That was delayed, obviously, because of the writer strikes, but you could have still pushed that out quickly, and they didn't. They really took their time to make sure it was done correctly. The same is said, actually, about Skeleton Crew. Skeleton Crew was done a long, long time ago, and the reason that they didn't push it out was likely because they wanted to make it as best as they possibly could. Maybe the visual effects weren't done. I don't know. But they took their time with it. And I think a lot of that is now, I mean, you have Dave Filoni in the CCO position. You have other people. We talked about the guy who's now the vice president of the creative side of things, all that stuff. You're having shifts in the backgrounds at Lucasfilm, and you're seeing sort of a emphasis, I guess, on creating the project the correct way. And I think the Rey movie is the perfect example of that, because the Rey movie, of all projects, has the most sort of riding on it, especially in terms of the sequel trilogy, because the sequel trilogy is very divisive amongst Star Wars fans, and obviously the Rey character herself is again very divisive. But if done correctly, you can't deny good is good. You know, you can't deny how good a good movie is. So if the Rey movie is good, there's no denying it. Even the haters are going to look stupid. So if you do the Rey story correctly, if you do the new Jedi Order story correctly, even though it's characters that some fans may not personally like Rey or Finn or Poe, if done correctly, if it's a great story to kickstart the post-sequel world, then you can't deny that, and it's going to be good. And I certainly hope it's going to be good. I mean, that's the dream. So I love that they're taking their time. They're finding the right writer. Even though they've gotten rid of 3 writers by now, it's not the end of the world. You want them to find the right writer, because the wrong writer is the wrong writer. You know? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's not that they're overhauling these projects. They've wanted to make this Rey movie for a long time. They're just taking their time with it. The Rey movie could have come out next year. It could have, but it's not, because they want to take their time to make it right, you know? Daredevil Born Again is going to be sick, though. I agree with that. That comes out pretty soon, right? Couple weeks. What was wrong with the first 3 writers? I have no idea. That's the thing. Us as Star Wars fans, we only see the news headline of Lucasfilm fires another writer, and it's obviously made to be a bad spin on things. But we don't know what's going on in the background. We don't know if maybe they didn't write a good script, or maybe they had other things to go to. Like Stephen Knight had his own movie to work on, and I'm assuming that that's why he's looked at it like, I can't put my full attention on this. Maybe I'll come back another time to do another Star Wars project. I don't know. But I have no idea. We don't know. Maybe their script sucked. Maybe it was great, but it wasn't what they wanted. Maybe they had time. I don't know. All we can hope is that they are finding the right writers and making the best project they possibly can. You know? Your copy of Shadow of the Sith arrived today? Let's go. Shadow of the Sith is awesome. Yeah. Yeah. For the Rey movie, it comes down to what KK wants. Kathleen Kennedy, that is. It is hard to say what that will be because she's not a creative. Well, to that point, everything comes down to what KK wants. She's the CEO of the company. A lot of people do this all the time. I see it online constantly. That is, for every Star Wars project that's bad, or they think is bad, or they don't like, they blame Kathleen Kennedy. And every project that's good, they find somebody else to praise. And it's something that, honestly, I probably did it at one point or another, and it's just wrong. She's the CEO of the company. She has been since 2012. Even George Lucas was the one who appointed her that position because he thought she was the right choice. And here's the deal. Was the sequel trilogy sort of a hodgepodge of bouncing back and forth between creatives? Yes. Absolutely. And is that her fault? Yes, she's the CEO of the company. But isn't it her fault, too, that The Mandalorian is one of the most successful shows of all time on Disney Plus? And an incredible show. Isn't it also her fault that The Bad Batch is so great? Yes, you can give it to the writers because it is the writers and the directors, but it's also the writers and the directors for the bad ones, too. Like, you sit here and claim that she's this horrible person when she also was the CEO when those good projects happened as well. Yeah, no? Yeah. Nah, it's Disney. Okay, so here's the blame for Disney. MCU and Pixar are Pixar. Are Pixar? Star Wars failing has been Disney's fault the whole time. Double standard. Well, again, I don't really agree with you to an extent. Star Wars failing. Like right there, I don't agree. I don't see Star Wars failing. Now, the viewership numbers have been low for the last 2 projects, but even that is sort of just a microscopic thing. You're looking at it from such a close angle. You zoom out, it's still like this. So, even to blame Disney for the failures of Star Wars, well, I would say that Disney's Star Wars is not failing. You know? Honestly, when you look at all the IPs that around the globe, I guess, when you look at all these different sort of studios, you have Lucasfilm, you have Marvel Studios, you have DC, you have, I don't know, what else you got? Lord of the Rings, you got Harry Potter, you got, I'm just talking like franchises, I guess. You got Game of Thrones, I don't even know. When you look at the biggest ones, you look at the biggest franchises around, it's hard not to argue that Star Wars is in the best place and has been the best since the beginning. Because when you look at the MCU, like I mentioned before, post-Endgame, people are shitting all over it. Some deservingly so, but not all. Like I mentioned before, you have great projects like No Way Home and Loki, but you have really bad ones like Ms. Marvel and Secret Invasion and whatever. So when you look at other Star Wars Jedi Podcast, what's up? How we doing, Ron? When you look at other franchises like the MCU, that's sort of been teetering up and down for the last 5-6 years. You look at Harry Potter that's doing a full reboot that nobody wants. You have Lord of the Rings, which actually I think Rings of Power is really, really good, but that's just me. Then you have DC, who's doing a full reboot for like the 10th time in the last decade. Hopefully it's going to be good, but who knows? Could be a disaster. You look at Star Wars. Star Wars has been solid from 1977. You have maybe some misses, some projects you may not like, but from start to finish, from 77 to now, it's hard to argue that anything else, any other franchise is anywhere close, anywhere in the vicinity of Lucasfilm, of Star Wars. So when you look at the future projects, it's hard to argue that anything else will be different. It's hard to argue that anything else will come close to being as good as Star Wars because it's going to continue to be great. It is a very interesting conversation to have, though. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. I truly wouldn't be surprised if Kathleen Kennedy announces that she's retiring at Star Wars Celebration this year and announces a new fill-in. I wouldn't either. I think Kathleen Kennedy has been trying to retire for so long, I think nobody wants her job. Because like we just talked about, she gets all the hate. She doesn't get any of the love. Whenever a project's a success, it's Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, or it's Tony Gilroy who did it and made it fantastic. Kathleen Kennedy hired them, put those two together, John and Dave, that is. And she's still the CEO at the time of those projects being made, just as she is during the time of the sequel trilogy being made. So nobody wants that position. All you get is the crap. All you get is the bad news, the bad side of things. So I think she's been trying to retire for quite some time. She's just not able to because nobody wants it. And maybe she's just finally convinced somebody to do so, or somebody's convinced somebody to do so. You got to look at it this way. As Star Wars fans, who would we want to be the CEO? Who do we think? Chat? Yo, Mike, do you think Ryan Gosling will change Star Wars a little bit? Hopefully, if that rumor is true and he comes to Star Wars, it sets the standard for big-time artists still want to be in Star Wars. You know? Yeah. Minded Lucas with another very generous $10 holla. I appreciate that, Minded Lucas. I really, really do. Super chats, memberships, keep the lights on over here. And by the way, since February is such a short month, we are coming up towards the end of February. So if you are not yet a member, think about becoming a member because we have a giveaway coming up pretty damn soon. And we're doing members-only live streams every Sunday until Andor Season 2. But Minded Lucas with a very generous $10 holla. I appreciate that. It says viewership compared to budget is the standard for live action. Box office returns compared to budget is the standard for movies. The most comparisons don't take into account for inflation. True to an extent. Viewership to budget is a big deal too. I mean, the Acolyte, the sort of news that came out that the Acolyte cost over $230 million was a lot probably the reason as to why that didn't get a second season. But yeah, I mean, I guess you got to take that into effect. I've seen some crazy graphs of like if A New Hope was released today with inflation, how much it would have made. I forget what it is, but it's pretty cool. All right, let's see. CEO Jon Favreau. Okay, interesting. Doug Chiang. I like that one. Dave Filoni. Okay. Dave and John, co-leaders. Okay. Here's the thing. I agree with you that it probably should be either John or Dave or Doug Chiang or whatever that like that. And by the way, Jedi Podcast with a very generous $5 holler, 10th ever super chat. I appreciate that quite a bit. It says smash a freaking like. Yeah, get on that, guys. But I appreciate it. But when you look at those people, when you look at somebody who's going to take charge like Jon Favreau or Dave Filoni, you don't want that. Because the CEO is not making the projects. We want Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni writing and directing as many projects as they possibly can. Dave Filoni maybe can be a overseer of projects, but you still want him hands-on making creative decisions at the CCO position. CEO is not doing that. Kathleen Kennedy is not on set every day. She's not making the creative decisions every single day. And you want John and Dave doing that. Now, Doug Chiang is a different story. Doug Chiang is a creative, has been one for Lucasfilm for decades now, but he has become more of an executive. He's become more of a company person, you know? He's not as much a creative. Yes, he still is. He still does the artworks. He still does all that stuff, but he has people helping him with that. And I think it's actually easier for him to transition into the CEO position than anybody else. But I agree with that. So Doug Chiang's actually a great choice. I like that a lot. I like it a lot. Amazon isn't canceling Rings of Power. No, they're not. Did somebody say that? Yeah, it got renewed. It's the 3rd season. Let's go. I love that show. That show's great. Indeed. But anybody else? I've only seen those 3. People have been saying those 3 over and over. Troy with a very generous $2 hello. I appreciate that, Troy. Says, sup, Mike. Sup, Troy. How we doing?
Hello there.
I appreciate it. Okay. Rebel Sith says, we just need a good business person in charge, not a creative one. Just someone who will allow the creatives to profit with their work and allow, like Dave Filoni and Pablo Hidalgo, to pick up and choose the right people. Yes and no. Obviously, the CEO has to find the creatives too, but I agree with you. They need to allow the creatives to do their jobs. The problem is, like I mentioned before, nobody wants that job. Nobody. Why would you want to get shit on all the time? Why would you just want to get crap for all the bad and none of the good? Isn't Dave Filoni the chief creative officer for Lucasfilm? Yes. And that role is perfect for him. Absolutely perfect. Alex, what's up? The chief creative officer has him overseeing all projects. So everything creative from Star Wars goes over his desk. So talk about having control of the creative side of things. That's where we want him, in charge of all of it. That's exactly where we want him. Yeah. Rings of Power is due to someone working there is a mega fan of the Lord of the Rings, and rich, so no bricks given. Oh, I get you. Yeah, I mean, Rings of Power, when you look at it, we're talking about money situations with the budgets of Disney Plus shows. Rings of Power's budget was $1 billion. And you watch that show and it shows. I mean, visually, it's the best of the best. But yeah, $1 billion is insane. Yeah. If Harrison Ford, Tony, what's up? If Harrison Ford has been president so many times, why can't he be CEO of Lucasfilm? Valid. He does seem to be playing the president a lot in a lot of movies nowadays. Give me a 1 into the chat if you've seen Captain America: Brave New World. Have you guys seen the new Captain America movie with Harrison Ford? Harrison Ford is Captain America. No. Yeah. He's great in it. He is great. It's so crazy because Harrison Ford is now 82. I know, crazy. But he's 82 years old. And we're talking about all the time whether to recast or just deep fake Luke, Leia, and Han, with hopefully those 3 characters playing somewhat of a big role in the near future. It'd be nice to see Harrison come back and sort of be that role, you know? That would be nice. KG says, Filoni needs to stay the creative head. KK's role is a bit more about the business than creative. I agree with that. I think Dave Filoni is right where he should be right now. And I don't think we need to change that. KK has a successor, doesn't she? I don't know. I don't think she does, honestly. I don't think she does. No, it cost $1 billion to get the rights, not just the TV show rights, and not the movie. I'm pretty sure the first season cost $1 billion to make. I know they had to buy the rights too, but oh, thank God. Okay. Make J.J. Abrams take the job and keep him from making any more movies. He's a super fan and he's got tough skin. I don't know if J.J. Abrams wants that job. He's a director. I don't think he really wants to be the CEO of Lucasfilm. Mike, I came in late. No season 2 of Skeleton Crew? Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah. We were just looking at it from a sort of unbiased perspective of a guy who loves Skeleton Crew. The numbers don't warrant a second season. The ending of the season doesn't warrant a second season. Now, the characters could still appear somewhere else in the Star Wars timeline in different projects and all this other stuff. But it looks very, 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 very unlikely that we will be getting a second season of Skeleton Crew. Now, that doesn't mean those characters will never appear again, but doesn't look like it'll be a second season. And maybe we're wrong. I mean, maybe they will, but who knows? Maybe it will. John says, I haven't seen it yet. Is it worth watching? I don't know what you're referring to, but I'm going to guess. Oh, Captain America. So here's my take on Captain America. I gave it on the member stream. I watched it twice on Saturday. I went with Samantha, and then I went with my friends the second time. And it was good both times. Is it one of the best MCU movies of all time? No. Probably not even close. But is it one of the worst? No. It's a very middle-of-the-road type movie. It's got great action scenes. The story, I think, is really, really good. It sets up sort of what's to come next, I think, in a little bit of ways. But it is its standalone movie. And it is a Captain America movie. It's probably the third best Captain America movie. I like Winter Soldier and Civil War better. It's probably around the same, if not a little bit better than the original one. The action scenes are great. Harrison Ford is great. Anthony Mackie's a great new Captain America, which is really hard to accomplish when you think about it. The villains are good. It's just all around a good movie. But it's not great. And it's not bad. It's good. I'd say definitely worth watching. In theaters, it's fun too. I mean, going to the movie theaters, there's nothing better than it. That's why I can't wait for Star Wars to come back to the movie theaters. There's nothing better than watching a movie in the movie theaters, especially Star Wars. The soundtrack, the lightsaber duels, the Force itself, you feel it more. You just feel it. And that's why Star Wars deserves to be belongs in the big screen. That's why I love these re-releases. I'm hoping they re-release Revenge of the Sith for the 20th anniversary this year. It better be, because I've yet to see that on the big screen, and that's probably going to be the best one. But I watched The Phantom Menace last year on the big screen. I watched Return of the Jedi the year before, so I'm hoping for Revenge of the Sith this year. Yeah. Harrison Ford really distanced himself from Star Wars. He did die. I mean, his character is dead. But yeah, no. He always has that running joke that he doesn't like Star Wars. He plays the old grumpy man so well. You know? Yeah. Robert says, I'm working on it. Snow and super cold here has been getting in my way, LOL. Oh, it's been cold and super snowy and super cold as well here. Yeah. Yeah. Because of what Amazon bought, you probably won't see Hobbits or the Shire. Well, the Hobbits are in the show. They're just Harfoots. They're what came before the Hobbits. Yeah. Han Solo, no body. Han Solo's dead, okay? He's not coming back. Dave Filoni always cooks. I have spoken. You're not wrong there. You are not wrong there. Oh, what just happened? Just scrolled to the bottom. Damn it. Darth Raccoon, what's up? What is up? Mike, have you ever seen the old interview during the release of 1977 Star Wars? Harrison Ford was so happy about the film, I was shocked. Yeah, when you watch old interviews when the the original trilogy was coming out, Harrison Ford's all smiles and all happy. Like, it's such a act that he doesn't like Star Wars, and everybody pretty much knows it at this point, you know? Mike, what was the first Star Wars film you saw in theaters? Force Awakens. I was 3 when Revenge of the Sith came out, so I wasn't watching that. And yeah, so it was The Force Awakens. I actually didn't even see the Clone Wars movie in theaters, so it was The Force Awakens. So now that I think about it, I've seen the sequel trilogy movies, I've seen Solo, and I've seen Rogue One. That's 5 of 11. I've now seen Return of the Jedi and The Phantom Menace. So I still have to watch on the big screen A New Hope, Empire, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. That might take me a while. Might take me quite some time. Yeah. What's your thoughts on a Jedi Academy animated series with Luke? I'd love it. I say yes. I think you have the opportunity there to do what the Clone Wars did for the prequels, but even more so for the sequel trilogy. You know? Tell the characters, tell the stories of those characters, Luke, Leia, and Han, without having to recast as voice actors. But you did the same for the prequel trilogy. You didn't get Hayden, you didn't get Ewan, you didn't get Hayden and Ewan or Padme, or Natalie Portman. You got new voice actors for those characters. And it works. And it works really well. So you can recast the voice of Luke, Leia, and Han with voice actors. Because look at now James Arnold Taylor. Look at Ashley Eckstein. Look at Matt Lanter, D. Bradley Baker. Those are beloved Star Wars actors, voice actors, but actors. And that's because they voiced those characters that we know and love in the animated shows. That could be the same thing with a new crew with Luke, Leia, and Han. How old am I? I'm 22. 22. Yeah. So, going back to the Luke Skywalker Jedi Temple show, what do you guys think? Would you want a Luke Skywalker Jedi Temple show to tell the story of Luke's Jedi Temple and how Ben falls to the dark side, becomes Kylo Ren, how the First Order rises to power, what happens with Han and Leia, why does Luke really go into hiding? Is Mara Jade really happening? We talked about those leaks or those rumors of the Mara Jade show, and I've heard nothing else of it since, so who knows if that'll become true. We are the same age? That's crazy. Nice. Nice. They can tie into the prequel trilogy and how Luke really turned, but before that, make it fun too. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of story that can be told. Like there's 7 seasons of the Clone Wars. That's about how many years is it between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith? Is it 3? Like in worlds, not the actual movies, and not in the real world, in Star Wars world, in the galaxy far, far away. Star Wars Santa, what's up? How many? Is it 3 years? Is it 3 years, John? It's 3 years. Okay. So you have a 3-year gap and you have 7 seasons of a show. Think about the 20-year gap that we have, or 25, whatever it is, between the originals and the sequels. Imagine how much storytelling you could tell in there. Quite a lot. Quite a lot. So, yeah. I mean, you could tell probably 10 plus seasons. I know they wouldn't do 10 plus seasons, but you have the ability to. At least 5. At least. Star Wars Santa says, I got kids in their 20s and 30s, LOL. Well, there's no age limit on a Star Wars fan, Star Wars Santa, so hopefully they're Star Wars fans too. Yeah, no? Have you seen Star Wars Meg's new video? No. What is it? I have not. I have not. Jeannie from Tahini, what's up, says, I would like a Luke Skywalker Jedi Academy story if it were animation. Yeah, it'd have to be animated. At 100%. It'd have to be animated. They wouldn't do it live action because, first of all, it costs a ton of money. You'd have to deepfake Luke. You'd have to deepfake Han. You'd have to deepfake Leia or recast them, which is even still a lot of money. And you'd have to tell the story. And you just have more room to tell the story in animation. You can make the seasons 16 episodes or whatever you want to do and make them really, really long and tell the full story, and it costs less money and all that stuff. Yeah. Guessing Mike's age, I'm guessing 32. I literally just told you he was 22. What do I look like? I'm 32? But I still want Luke to never go into hiding. I'm not believing any of the crazy rumors this week. LOL. Well, I don't know about that. Luke did go into hiding. I don't know. Star Wars Meg is negative now. She realized that hate gets more views. Well, I don't really know. I have no hate towards Meg. Absolutely none. Zero, none. All love to Meg. Still think she's an AI, but that's just me. No, just kidding, Meg. Just kidding. Don't send the Terminator after me. So all love to Meg. But just talking Star Wars content creators in general, it seems like the negativity has won the war. Win the war. No, it seems like they've won the war. There's very few sort of positive content creators out there. And not to like pat myself on the back or anything, because I have no animosity. That's not a word. Animosity against anybody. I just don't. However, with that being said, negativity does sell. It does. Absolutely. I think if I wanted to be really, really rich and sort of hate my life, I would talk negatively about Star Wars hard. Like, it's very easy to see the formula and how it works. And if you want to live a pretty negative and hateful life and want to make some money, then crapping on Star Wars, pretty good, you know? Yeah. Star Wars Head said, I recorded the video with Meg for her Patreon today. She is very much a real girl, LOL. Well, there you go. I don't know if I can believe Santa. I mean, can I believe a guy named Santa? No, okay. Is there anybody real in this chat that I can believe? Just kidding, Santa. We all know you're real. Unofficial Star Wars is cool. I'll have to check them out. I honestly don't really watch much Star Wars content unless somebody sends it to me directly. Of course, I tune into Star Wars Santa streams every once in a while. I'll tune into Star Wars Jedi podcast streams or Explore the Force streams. Like people who, I mean, I've been on their shows. They've been on my, like the people like the Tony, Will, like all these people who, I don't know, I've talked to, and I'll tune in every once in a while. But yeah, it's, I don't know. You know? Yeah. Kenobi's Corner says, you know I'm real. That's true. Kenobi's Corner as well. Yeah. I found a handful of positive TVC YouTubers. They're all awesome in the community. I don't know what TVC means, but sure. Yes. Yeah, if you have not checked out Star Wars Jedi podcast yet, go check them out because we had a podcast with each other pretty recently, actually. So go check out that one. It was pretty epic. We had a great conversation about the Acolyte. Well, about everything, but yeah, the Acolyte too. Yeah. My only issue is thumbnails and titles are more on the negative side against Disney, in my opinion. Well, I think actually YouTube is trying to crack down on sort of clickbait stuff, which is pretty cool. I like that a lot. Clickbait stuff, I mean, when you click on a video that's like, I don't know, I don't even know an example, like Anakin Skywalker is still alive or something, I don't know, whatever it is. And it's clickbaiting you to click on it. They're like, oh, did this actually happen? Oh. How about the trailer people who release the fake trailers for all the shows? That's insane to me. Like, you're tricking somebody to thinking that there's a trailer for a show that doesn't even exist, or it is a show that exists, but there's no trailer yet. Like, that's wild. So whenever I do something that's like a live stream, and I'm trying to get you guys to obviously click on it, that's the goal. It's usually a bunch of question marks. I mean, what's today's live stream called? I don't even know anymore. No more Skeleton Crew? Question mark, question mark. And Andor Season 2 trailer this week? Question mark. Like, that's what we're talking about today. That's what we've talked about for the first hour and 30 minutes of this live stream is no more Skeleton Crew. Skeleton Crew is probably not going to get a second season. because of the viewership numbers that we talked about already and all that. And then Andor Season 2 trailer this week makes a lot of sense because there's 2 months till the show airs, and we haven't even got a teaser trailer yet. And all the other shows got teaser trailers 3 to 4, 5 months in advance. So I'm not going to try to lie to you guys here. And we speculate a lot. I mean, you know? People really love to use it as a reason to argue, though. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Rachel says, Mike, in Star Wars Meg's video, she talks about Rey movie writer getting fired. Another? You say George Nolfi getting fired? What? What? I did not see this. What are we talking about here? Hang on, Chad. I am not seeing this. No, I'm not. Okay. Well, I do want to talk about this because this is pretty interesting. Wait, what is this? Hang on. A Star Wars fan film from a big-time actor? Look at this. The Substance, which is the Substance director and writer, the director of the 2024's body horror phenomenon, this movie, is creating a Star Wars fan film. That's crazy. Huh. The more you know. Star Wars Celebration begins in 2 months. Oh, 2 months from today. That's true. I didn't know that. 2 months from today is Star Wars Celebration. That's pretty cool. Okay. But what were we just looking for? I forget. Oh, the losing the thing. Losing the director, I don't see. I don't think so. I think they've got some faith in George Nolfi right here. I don't know. Star Wars Celebration in 6 weeks? Well, it's in 2 months. I don't really know specifically how many weeks. I don't know. Oh, it wasn't about George Nolfi being fired. It was about the last guy being fired. Oh, okay. I got you. I follow now. I do follow now. Okay, let's talk about this. I want to talk about this. So, Daisy Ridley has been speaking up a lot about the Rey movie, which we're not going to really be talking about now, but I want to talk about this. So we're talking about, will this week be the week for the Andor Season 2 trailer? And Star Wars Newsnet actually writes a pretty good article about this and why it could be this week where we could be getting this trailer. So let's take a look at this. Let's take a gander, shall we? Will this finally be the week that we get the Andor Season 2 trailer? Due to the lack of topics to discuss, honestly, we talked about how since Skeleton Crew ended, how much news there has been. This sort of last 5 to 7 days, the content or lack thereof, it's been pretty wild. Like, there has not been much to talk about other than the crazy rumor coming from a somewhat unreliable source of a Mara Jade show. There really hasn't been much in terms of Star Wars news, you know? But because of that, they might be in this calm before the storm, this lull before the trailer drops. But let's read this. So, we are cutting tonight's issue a bit short, but I do have one question for the week ahead. Will this finally be the week where we get an Andor Season 2 trailer? It's rare, very rare, for Lucasfilm to get within the final 2 months before a show's release and not even debut a teaser trailer, let alone a actual full trailer. Like, we haven't gotten a teaser trailer. None. Zip. Nada. And we are about 2 months away. The last time this happened was the Book of Boba Fett, which dropped its trailer on November 1st, 2021, ahead of its show's debut on December 29th. Andor Season 2 is coming out on April 22nd. So its 2-month final countdown starts next Saturday, this coming Saturday. So this Saturday is the 2-month mark until Andor Season 2. And that seems like a odd day to drop a trailer. Saturday doesn't seem to do so. But May the 4th trailer, of course, is withstanding because May the 4th just happened to land on a Saturday. So it must happen earlier in the week, right? Possibly. There is no special event to look forward to where we might be getting a trailer. I mean, Star Wars Celebration is the next sort of big thing, and it's not really happening anytime soon. Disney just reported earnings a few days ago on their TV upfront presentation. And their TV upfront presentation isn't until May. But I do think that they will build some anticipation for it, meaning we will get a teaser poster the day before or something like that. So they'll lead up to the trailer. It won't just be trailer drop immediately. Now, that might not be the case because when the Acolyte trailer dropped, they released a poster and then the trailer like right after, if I'm remembering correctly. But we'll see. Following the pattern from season 1, they might drop it on Good Morning America on a Monday, and the teaser is on Sunday, with a teaser on Sunday evening. Well, this article is from Sunday, I'm guessing, so that's clearly already hasn't happened. But since I expect the final trailer to drop during Star Wars Celebration, just a few days before the actual season premiere, I'm not sure that they will be dropping more full-fledged promos aside from junket interviews or 20-second spots leading up to the convention in Japan. So much like Skeleton Crew. Skeleton Crew released its teaser trailer 4 months before the show, and then an official trailer a few months before. And then it was all TV spots, these 20-second snippet trailers that they posted on Twitter and YouTube and Instagram. But they weren't really like big, big 3-minute trailers. So it's likely that that's going to be the same. At the same time, they should be trying to promote the new season as much as they can. The first one earned them a lot of goodwill from casual Star Wars fans, not even casual viewers, sorry. And they can capitalize on the momentum the right way, or they could have a pretty big streaming hit on their hands. We talked about this before, but Andor Season 1's numbers were very, very low. So it's not like it's going to be the biggest show of all time because it's just the second season of Andor. Even though Andor Season 1 is so good, it's not going to be that way. Jessica, we love you right back. But yeah, this chat is incredible. Okay. So, with that being said, will it be this week? And we'll look at all these, but we got some images too. What did you think of the latest collection of the blah, blah, blah? Okay. Yeah, so let's take a look at the images from Andor Season 2 that we do have. Andor Season 2. Yeah, there we go. So, Andor Season 2, we had these 12 images. We looked at them before, but let's take another look. So, you got Mon Mothma there, standing next to Tony Gilroy. You got Cassian in a TIE fighter, another one in TIE fighter. Cyril, nice, and Dedra, back on Coruscant. Luthen, Bix and Cassian and 2 people. Is that Veil behind him? Maybe right there, possibly. Dedra again, Mon again. This one's my favorite because the stormtroopers behind him, and I don't know what the hell's going on here. Krennic, the return of Krennic, Bix and Cassian again. Okay, that's it. All right. So what's pretty interesting to me, and what I think's going on here is, this is likely to happen. Dead. Maybe Cyril survives. I don't know. But dead by the end of season 2. Bix is a goner. Luthen's definitely a goner because he talks about how he's given everything to the rebellion. He's going to give his life abso-fruitly. So this is, that's what I think's going on here. Okay, but where was that thing I was going to get to? This, okay. Also on StarWars.com, we have this. So it says Andor season 2, Andor a Star Wars story, by the way, they've called it that now. Season 2. In a dangerous era, Cassian Andor embarks on a path destined to turn him into a rebel hero, because we know Rogue One, obviously. And then it says stream on Disney Plus Season 1 and Season 1 trailer. Season 1 trailer. No Season 2 trailer yet. Season 1 trailer. Okay. And that's about it. That's Andor's first season guide. Look at second season. First season stuff. First season stuff. 50 characters, 9 locations. Nice. Yeah, so that's all we got. That is all we got for Andor Season 2, and we are 62 days away. 2 months. That's it. 2 months. Wild. Whoa, what the hell? Of course, Mike starts. Yeah, okay. So they're going to die, obviously. I mean, that's sort of clear at this point. But, yeah. Yeah. It is super exciting. I can't wait. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. We shall see. It's going to be hopefully a trailer this week. Well, actually, let's put that up as a poll. I want to put up a poll because we put this poll up at the beginning of the stream. Haven't taken it down yet. So, Mike's the Grim Reaper. What? No. Maybe. Do you want a second season of Skeleton Crew? 86% of you with over 140 votes said yes. And I absolutely agree with you, but it doesn't seem likely. Just logically, it doesn't seem likely. Okay. Mike, have you seen the Andor intro by the No. I don't know who they are or what that is, but no, I've not. Okay. Do you think we will get an Andor Season 2 trailer this week? Yes or no? By the end of this week, by Saturday's live stream, will we be breaking down an Andor Season 2 trailer? What do we think? What do we think? Officer Murdoch, how we doing? That's very true. Better a few minutes than never. Appreciate you being here. So here's my logic behind this. It seems as though there has to be a trailer this week. Now, I know you're going to say, Mike, it doesn't have to be. There has not been a teaser trailer yet. None. And that's never happened with a Star Wars show before. Never. We've gotten official trailers later than this, like they talked about the Bad Batch. The Book of Boba Fett. But we've never gotten a teaser trailer this late in the game. Ever. So the 2-month mark is Saturday. So we kind of have to get one before that. I don't know, chat. 40% of you say no. 60% say yes, but 40% of you guys say no. There won't be one this week. Well, then when are we getting one? Why are they taking their sweet ass time with this? I don't know. It's not like the show's going to be delayed because it's 2 days after Star Wars Celebration. If anything, it's going to be pushed up a day so they can release it at Star Wars Celebration. What if it's Sunday? Well, I'll take it. Yeah. We got that 11-second teaser. Well, that was a part of another trailer. That was a look ahead at Disney Plus shows, or whatever it was, Disney and Hulu shows in 2025. And there was 10 seconds of Andor? Yeah. What's crazy to me is there has to be a trailer ready to go. There has to be. Because there was a trailer ready to go 2 years ago at Star Wars Celebration. The people at Star Wars Celebration in 2023, 2 years ago, saw a trailer for Andor Season 2. Now, it wasn't much, but it was a teaser trailer. So they've had something ready to go for at least 2 years. And us as the audience have not seen it. So I think it's got to be this week. It's got to be. Because we're about to hit that 2-month mark, you know? Yeah, a lot of people wanted it as a Valentine's Day gift on Friday, but it didn't happen. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention to you guys, Samantha could not be here today, so she wanted to say hi to you guys, so she says hi. But also, she had a blast on Saturday's live stream. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was. And I told her about the members-only live stream. She didn't believe me, but I proved it by showing her. She was like, what the hell? That Jordan guy's crazy. And I know, Jordan is crazy, but he's not here today. When is the wedding, Mike? Well, not for a while. Like I mentioned before, I am 22 and don't have a lot of money. We're not even engaged, so. No. We'll tell Sam we say hi. I will. I will tell her. I will tell her. Tom, what's up? First time in the chat? Holy crap, Tom. Welcome. Welcome, Tom. We always get a bunch of new people in the chat, Tom, during live streams. But that's usually during the time when there's a show going on. But I appreciate you. I'm 29. I've been married for 4 years. Mike, you got this? Well, it's not even that. Like, we've been together for 6.5 years now. 6.5 years? Something like that. Close to 6.5. So it's been a long time. 6.5 years is no, you know, not nothing. Yeah, Jordan has to pick up on his overtime. I know. What the hell? Yeah, 6.5 years. Crazy. Since I was 16. Long, long time ago. Okay. All right. But I'm going to end this poll. Let's see where you guys were at. You got married at 18 and 19? That's awesome, Santa. Congrats to you guys. Congrats to you. I'm going to need Jordan to keep sending me some super chats in order for us to get married anytime soon. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Okay. 55% of you guys think that there will be a trailer this week. Interesting. Okay. I'm on board with that. I'm on board with that side of the poll. I think hopefully there will be a trailer this week, but only time will tell. Only time will tell. Could it be that they are trying to get the word of mouth out for hype for Andor Season 2 trailer? I don't know. I feel like people are ready for it. You know, people are ready for this trailer. Yeah. I dated for 4, married for 10, and then boom, divorce. Oh, well, sorry to hear that. Unless it was a mutual thing, then congrats. I don't know. I think a trailer might drop this Friday. They usually drop trailers on Tuesdays. That's why I had a weird suspicion that it would be today. But honestly, now that I remember it, I think the Acolyte trailer was on a Monday. Maybe a Thursday? I don't even know anymore. I don't know anymore, chat. The stream has been hijacked by off-topic. Yeah, it always does. Usually that's how these things work. 1 million subs and you'll ask Samantha? Ooh, interesting. I like that a lot better than dumping a cup of blue milk on my head, so maybe. Maybe. Yeah. Let's get me to 1 million subscribers and I'll think about it. Your spouse needs to be your biggest fan. Well, she is. She absolutely is. There you go. Okay. Well, I do have to get on out of here. We did go way off topic. I have to go tend to my injury now. Got to take my shoe off somehow, even though it's probably glued on at this point because it's swollen up so much. But with that being said, I guess you guys are crazy. Yeah, I got to go sit in the back of the tank. Until next time. So watch out for hopefully a short today. I don't really know. I haven't gotten started on one yet. And we'll have to figure it out if I'm going to have time to do one. But if not, we will have, of course, usually a short tomorrow. Live stream Thursday. We are currently back to Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday for the rest of your lives. But until then, let's give a huge shout out to our super chatters today. Huge shout out to Troy, Star Wars Jedi Podcast, Mind to Lucas, and Fearless for the very generous super chats. I appreciate you. I really, really do. I really, really do. Does Star Wars do trailers tomorrow? Tease for upcoming Disney Plus show? I hope so. Trailer tomorrow would be great. It would be great. But until then, smash a freaking like on the stream if you have not already. How many likes do we have, chat? Am I going to be upset? 70? 70? We had 100 people here, almost the whole stream. Smash a freaking like on the stream if you have not already. Hit that subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video in my pretty face. Will show up in the recommended feed of yours. I appreciate you all so much more. Yes, live stream. Next live stream is Thursday. The usual time. Yeah. Can we get a trailer of your ankle? No. If you are not yet in the Discord, there's a link in the description below to a Discord called The People Who Love Star Wars. Go join it immediately. If you are not yet in there, we got a bunch of almost 270 something people in there. So go join that immediately. And then, can't wait till next time. Smash a freaking like on the stream, hit subscribe, and hit that bell. Yeah. May the force be with you. Always. Oh, yeah. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Watch out for maybe a short tonight. But just stay tuned on that. And if not, then I'll see you guys tomorrow in a short and maybe a poll. Maybe I'll do a poll tonight. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But until next time, hope you have a great rest of your evening. Great rest of your lives. And good night, everybody.